Hi folks, Tim Faiola here from Network to Code. Today's video is going to deal with security and compliance. This video is part 5 in the Automation Excellence Roadmap to Success video series. The first topic today is going to cover network security challenges, specifically how manual processes increase the network's attack surface. This first section takes a look at some of the top security challenges present in modern networks. In this slide, we detail some of the ways that manual processes create errors and delays. Here we show a manual workflow for an approval process that might be used for something like an OS upgrade or firewall policy change approval. This process is cumbersome and time-consuming, especially when you consider that with the help of automation and AI, attackers are moving much faster than this manual process ever will. Human error is also an inevitable byproduct of such manual processes, whether it's due to outdated or inaccurate documentation, oversight, or simple misconfigurations such as missed commands, invalid syntax, or improperly set values. These mistakes can create critical vulnerabilities in the network. Also consider that even when this manual process is performing as intended, it's going to result in excessive wait times and excessive manual effort. This will result in sporadically updated operating systems and mediocre compliance at best. Now, when you consider if this manual process fails, you have an increased attack surface in your network, you have very outdated operating systems, your firewall rules may be duplicated and unorganized, and you will have a patchwork of security configurations across your network, resulting in an inconsistent security posture. Next, let's discuss firewall security policies and the dangers of not having the right tools to manage them. This slide details some of the drawbacks and risks of manually managed security policies. Relying on the manual throughput of engineering teams and inconsistently maintained documentation results in security policies that are overly complex, inconsistent, and difficult to fully understand and maintain. Firewalls maintained in this manner often have things like duplicate rules. These rules provide redundant functionality, which unnecessarily inflates the complexity. Obsolete rules. These rules no longer serve a business need but remain active. These create unnecessary clutter. Overly permissive rules. These rules allow excessive access and are often implemented as quick fixes. These can leave critical systems exposed to potential exploitation. Misordered or shadowed rules. These rules are often rendered ineffective because they are superseded by a broader or higher priority rule, which leads to both inefficiency and security gaps. The final result here is a firewall policy that is bloated, inefficient, and difficult to audit, leaving the organization vulnerable to both operational inefficiencies and potential breaches. Outdated operating systems pose a security risk to the network. Older images are less secure. Cisco estimates that over 80% of its hardware deployed in customer networks runs on older software versions, which significantly weakens network security. Each time a manufacturer announces a new vulnerability, attackers are going to move swiftly to exploit unpatched systems, often using automated tools to identify and breach vulnerable devices. Despite these risks, many organizations delay upgrading their network hardware due to the labor-intensive nature of that process. This situation creates an excessively long window of exposure, leaving networks vulnerable to potential exploitation. Best practices recommend upgrading network hardware at least twice a year to maintain secure posture. At an absolute minimum, organizations should perform upgrades annually to avoid falling dangerously behind in protecting their systems against modern threats. Configuration compliance is a cornerstone to network security because it ensures that the network will respond to attacks in the intended manner and in a predictable manner. However, maintaining configurations using manual processes and documentation across thousands of devices over multiple years is exceptionally difficult. Some of the reasons this is difficult include things like undocumented and non-standard changes that are applied to quickly fix failures. These are often called Band-Aid changes. Improperly implemented changes are also a hazard. And finally, configuration rollbacks and poorly defined standards can also result in non-compliant configurations. All these factors, and certainly others, will coalesce to create a network which is susceptible to attack. This slide shows some common configuration standard breaches that can affect the security posture of the network or affect your firm's ability to respond effectively to an attack. Now we're going to discuss some of the solutions to these problems we've just covered. First up, managing firewall rules with automation. Let's first examine an example automated process to update firewall rules. This process itself does involve a good amount of steps and stages and involves several different systems. The main difference here is that this process is automated. Automation means that a firm can have a comprehensive process that addresses security and operational needs. That firm can leverage the automation to orchestrate the activity between the different systems involved. In this example, the automated process can cut down dramatically the number of people involved. Here it means that this process involves a requester and a security engineer. The comprehensive process can be executed consistently each time. And finally, the automated process can take what was manual documentation and standards and enshrine those standards and documentation into code, making their application more consistent and effortless. Building on what we just discussed, here are the outcomes of automated firewall rule provisioning. 1. Consistently applied rules. Automated processes ensure that new and existing firewall rules are created and adjusted programmatically. This helps reduce the risk of human error. This also reduces the likelihood of security oversights caused by overly complex or malformed rules. Accelerated rule deployment. Automation can deploy firewall rules at speeds that manual processes simply cannot match. This enables faster implementation and reduces the window of vulnerability. Third, time savings. Each time automation handles the submission and implementation of a new rule request, it saves engineering teams a tremendous amount of time, sometimes hours per rule request. These hours can then be redirected to higher value tasks, increasing overall productivity. And fourth, fewer outages. Programmatically maintained rules are far less prone to oversights that inadvertently block necessary traffic. This reduces the likelihood of outages and improves overall network reliability. Now, we'll be covering how automation can help a firm secure its network via automated configuration management and automated OS upgrades. Automation is often described in terms of reduced time commitment from humans, hours saved. But it's not just about hours saved. It's the entire reduction of effort that makes your firm more secure because it allows you to upgrade sooner and quicker. In this real-world example shown here, automated OS upgrades allowed the firm to allocate 1 engineer's time to OS upgrades versus requiring 5 engineers' time in the manual upgrade process used prior. This improvement helps contribute to both expedited timelines for OS upgrades and more productive maintenance windows. In this example, prior to automation, it took 3 months of maintenance windows to upgrade the firm's fleet, perform audits, and clean up errors. Leveraging automation, that time dropped down to 3 weeks of maintenance windows. Post-upgrade auditing was also improved. Since the upgrades were performed in a consistent process, the amount of auditing dropped significantly. And since auditing and cleanup were also automated, they were able to be performed sooner and in a more complete, comprehensive manner. Considering all this, when leveraging automated OS upgrades, a firm can expect a few outcomes. 1. Drastically reduced labor commitments. Automated upgrades can cut manual labor by 95%. This allows more frequent upgrades. 2. Faster timelines. Expedited upgrade processes ensure systems are updated within tighter windows, simplifying scheduling, planning, and oversight. And 3. Consistent and predictable execution. Automation ensures that upgrades are performed accurately and uniformly. This reduces the risk of errors and ensures that systems remain secure and operational. Finally, let's cover automated configuration compliance. In short, when network configuration is highly standardized and uniformly implemented, a firm's security posture increases. Automation can help with this. Specifically, the automation delivers the following. 1. Automated compliance for consistent security. Automated processes ensure that network configurations adhere to defined security standards. This reduces opportunities for breaches. 2. Adherence to intended configurations. Generating intended configurations and then using daily automated checks ensures that every device's configuration aligns with its standard. This will reduce variation from the intended security posture. 3. Elimination of exploit vectors. The automation closes potential entry points for attackers by programmatically eliminating minor but often overlooked errors that can result in critical vulnerabilities. 4. Rapid resolution of discrepancies. Automated remediating command sequences will quickly and accurately correct configuration discrepancies, minimizing exposure time and reducing manual interventions. 5. Seamless technology transitions. Configurations are generated in a vendor-agnostic and technology-neutral manner, ensuring the security posture remains consistent during hardware or technology upgrades. 6. Easier operational oversight. Dashboard and reporting tools provide up-to-date insights into compliance. This enables continuous monitoring and proactive management of the network security state. And 7. Reallocation of team resources to high-value tasks. Automation reduces the network outages and troubleshooting time associated with those outages. It also simplifies network operations through standardization. This will free up time for teams to focus on strategic initiatives and higher value work. Thank you for your time today. We hope this video was useful to you. Please feel free to reach out to us with any questions. Best of luck to you with your network automation efforts. Thank you for joining.